On a bustling main street in East Stockholm, there's a familiar figure often seen during rush hour. An elderly man standing at a street corner, his posture upright and his gaze fixed straight ahead, resembling a statue. Shortly after arriving in Sweden, people recommended I check out this street attraction. One early spring morning, hurrying to work, I finally saw him. To my surprise, there was an added spectacle. Within the brief moments I observed, he suddenly took small steps to his right, tilted his head as if performing a right-dress military command. Then snapped back to his original position, standing at attention with arms at his sides. The thought struck me immediately. He must be a retired soldier. Curious, I asked a few passers-by about him. Some shrugged, others spread their hands, indicating they had no idea. Knowing the Swedish tendency to respect personal privacy, I wasn't surprised by their indifference. Sweden's summer is known for sudden showers, so carrying an umbrella is a must. One day, as I passed by him, it started to rain. The old man neither wore a raincoat nor held an umbrella, yet he stood there rigidly. Raindrops streamed down his face, but he seemed oblivious. I instinctively held my umbrella over his head. When the rain stopped, I left without a word from him, not even a glance. I felt a bit miffed. My colleagues laughed, suggesting the old man might be crazy. I was skeptical and felt even more compelled to uncover the truth behind his peculiar behavior. I went on a business trip to Denmark for 5 months and returned to Sweden in winter. I asked my colleagues if the old man still stood there. One quipped, "Have you grown fond of him? Thinking of becoming his goddaughter?" I didn't respond. The next day, on my way to work, he wasn't there, and I felt a strange emptiness. After work, as snow began to fall, I hurried to that corner. There he was, standing with snow covering his hat and frost decorating his beard, looking like a Christmas figure. A young boy, around 5 or 6, played with the snow at his feet, occasionally glancing at the old man. Sensing a connection, I approached the boy and asked, "Do you know this old man?" "He's my grandpa," he replied, confirming my suspicion. Pretending to be casual, I continued, "Is your grandpa standing guard for someone?" "For the king," the boy blurted out. Elated, I felt closer to the answer and nudged him further. "But isn't the king in the palace? Why is your grandpa standing guard here?" The boy blinked, pondering but said nothing more and resumed his play. Once again, I was left in confusion. I wanted to talk to the old man, but his dignified and aloof demeanor deterred me. I remembered being warned by palace guards for getting too close during a tour, which made me hesitant to approach. Finally, one day, due to work, we invited a local policeman for a meal. Casually, I mentioned the strange old man. The officers exchanged glances, and the atmosphere grew tense. Unsure of my faux pas, I was about to change the subject when an older officer stood up, adjusted his uniform, and solemnly said, "He is our predecessor, named BEDtime, a distinguished officer of the Royal Guard, honored many times. Over 30 years ago, his cavalry patrol was spooked. To protect his soldiers and others, he held on to the reins of a frantic horse, being dragged hundreds of meters and nearly losing his life." I listened, holding my breath, feeling my heart sink like lead. The officer paused before continuing. Since then, he lost his memory. But the one thing he never forgot was his duty. After he finished speaking, tears welled in my eyes.